Hi, I'm Peter Travers, movie critic for Rolling Stone, and it's time to talk about many controversial things, but mostly what's out at the movies. And, you know, people, you got to face it. The big movie this weekend, the one that everyone will see, that will probably make $100 million, is animated, and it's called Monsters vs. Aliens. You know what? It's not half bad. I've got to say that right away. You don't have to be 7 years old to like it. But the only reason that you're really going to like it is if you go to a theater that's showing it in 3D. Look, I got my glasses. I have them right here. I'm going to put them on. See, look at this. You sit there with these things on, and suddenly things that get tossed at you feel like they're right in your face. See, that's the exciting thing. That's what 3D is about. You know, I'm holding these, and I've got to say that 3D might just be the thing that gets people back into movies. I mean, it's not going to be Monsters vs. Aliens that does it, but what if a genius, what if some amazing kind of filmmaker does it, like James Cameron, and I'm here to say he's doing it. And at Christmas, we're going to see a movie called Avatar that's in 3D, directed by the guy who did Titanic, who hasn't worked in 11 years, because he's working to make these glasses work. So I'm excited about that. Not so excited about Monsters vs. Aliens, but let me talk about the good stuff in it. Plot is easy. There's a girl named Susan who's voiced by Reese Witherspoon. She looks something like her. She's engaged to be married to a vain, idiot a-hole called and played, anyway, by Paul Rudd in this movie. And he's a newscaster, and he's in love with himself. And on their wedding day, poor Susan looks up at the sky, sees a meteor. And suddenly, she's a 50-foot woman. She's gigantic. She doesn't have to marry this jerk. And she's taken, kidnapped by the government and put into a special place with a lot of other monsters. And these monsters are being used by the government. A general named W.R., get it, like warmonger. Whoa, this is the humor in this movie. Kiefer Sutherland plays that general, or voices that general. And he's going to make those monsters fight aliens. And the aliens is this big giant robot that comes up by the Golden Gate Bridge and knocks it down, and everything is falling. It's coming at you. And these voices are really fun to listen to, but the most fun voice comes with the monsters. My favorite monster. I mean, you got a guy who looks like the Fly. You've got a Dr. Cockroach who is voiced by Hugh Laurie from House.
Mad scientist.
But you've got Seth Rogen, I think, giving one of his best performances as a thing called Bob.
Gelatinous mass. Hi, I'm Bob.
I don't know. It's some technical thing. It's like bicarbonate of soda or something. I don't know what it is. But he's Bob, and he's a blob. He's a blue blob, and he's naked, very much like Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen, you know, except there's no penis. So you can take kids, and nothing will be shocking about it. He is hilarious. This blob has never been out in the world, and so when he goes out in the world, he eats everything, he rubs up against everything, and Rogen is perfect in this movie. Yeah, so go see it. Be happy and see what technically people can do. Does it have the charm of something like WALL-E? Does it have the imagination of WALL-E? Does it have the inventiveness of WALL-E? You know, so just don't get your hopes up, but it's a good time anyway. All right, so where are we now? The non-3D movie, The Scumbucket. Okay, I got two things to say. A lot of you have been reaching me at asktravers@rollingstone.com, and I'm happy to get your comments. And I got one comment from Europe. And this guy said, what is it with you, last blog, actually just reviewing the trailer of the Nick Cage movie Knowing? The trailer. Where's your seriousness, he said. You didn't see the whole movie, and yet you put this in the scumbucket based on the trailer alone. Okay, you know, I've been stabbed. You got me. Busted. But I admitted what I was doing because I think sometimes a bad movie's trailer tells you just what you're in for. But for you, I went to Knowing. And even though they didn't have critic screening for me, I went out, plopped up my $10, and went to see Knowing with Nick Cage. And you know what? Worse than the trailer. Much worse than anything I expected. All right, you're probably going to email me now and say, that was the #1 movie last week. It made like $25 million. I don't care. I don't care about how much money movies make. It sucks. It was horrible. Nick Cage had that hangdog look. I'm an astrophysicist. The world's going to end. He looked the same way when he thought the world was okay as he looked when the world was ending. He talks to his son and goes, we better go hide, we better do this.
I will never let that happen, Caleb. Do you hear me? Never.
You know, there was one good scene in this movie where there's an airplane crash outside the yard and you see this jet coming down, blows up.
Cast transmission.
Other than that, it's people talking new age blather. So you know what? I am not giving up my idea. When studios say to me, Peter Travers, you cannot see a movie, you know what I'm going to say to them? Yeah, I'm going to say no. So also in the scum bucket this week is going to be the trailer of a movie I saw, because they won't show me the movie, called The Haunting in Connecticut. Haunting in Connecticut. How much can this try to sound like the Amityville Horror? Haunted house in Connecticut, sold on the basic of just a high concept of horribleness. I kept passing out trying to watch the trailer. It screams scumbucket. But because of you out there, because of you wanting to be serious, I am going to see The Haunting in Connecticut with the rest of you, who I know will make this a hit, and I will be back here next week to answer all your charges. So come at me, you know. Go on AskTravers@RollingStone.com and hit me with your best shot. I'm here to take it. I'm Peter Travers.